All right, we can just sort of pick it up from there if you want to.
What was the last thing we said?
We're basically saying, I think we got to go. But I thought maybe that it had stopped, that we had to stop it because. But I was right. We didn't lose anything, so you can pick it up from there.
Okay.
In 3, 2.
And I would have won my bet because you didn't lose anything.
Is that really what you were thinking? Yeah.
Yeah. Minus 300. It probably been closer to minus 450.
If people would just understand how much this hurts my chest. And it hurts when these sort of things happen. It's so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Even though nothing truly bad is happening, just the small waste of time that it is. I mean, if you studied, okay, for instance, my wife has this thing called an aura ring. Andrea has this thing called an aura ring. And she wears this ring. I think we talked about it on ACT once before. But she has this ring that she wears on her finger. And like this morning, she woke up and she didn't have a voice. And then she checked her aura ring. And if you go back and look at it, it's like in the middle of the night, it was giving her text messages like, you're getting sick. I can tell you're getting sick. Something's attacking your body. And she woke up and she's like sick. So I don't
Oh, yeah. What does a ring measure again? It's like your blood pressure or
I have no idea.
Your heartbeat?
I guess all of that. Your bio.
Well, I guess it can't do your blood pressure. You need an actual pressure cuff for that.
I don't know what it can do.
It does heartbeat and really, I think that's it.
But it
because
can
it's
tell,
just like an Apple Watch.
But I think it can tell, like, based on how your body is maybe allotting resources somehow. Like maybe if it's detecting that you are in a state of stress in the middle of the night, it's
based
going
on
to
your sleep, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to assume that maybe you have like something going on. Like, like you're getting sick or something like that. But anyway, I don't know why I even got on that. But she has that thing, and it's crazy, dude. Like, the thing is bananas that it'll tell you that.
It's funny. There's like it says it during the night, and then you wake up, you're like, I feel like garbage. It's like, and then the ring's like, you're sick, and it's like, I knew, ring.
Yeah.
When I woke up, I knew.
What happened to the thing that was real popular? I want to say about 3 years ago, right when we were entering the pandemic. When
that was 5 years ago,
or within 5 years ago,
it was just insane.
Or maybe it was like in the middle of it, but like it was whatever it was. They were doing these commercials for that test kit that would sit on the top of your TV, and anytime you thought like maybe you're sick or you got COVID or something, you'd swab your nose, you'd put it in the machine. The machine would like take the results and like send them to like this digital lab in the cloud, and then send the results back to you on your phone and be like, yeah, you got the flu, stay home. Remember that thing? And they were like, oh, this is going to be the new thing that everybody has. It's going to be like the new VCR. Everybody's going to have this thing somewhere in their house. And then, like, let's say Crystal comes home from, something, and she's like, man, I don't feel very good. And you're like, let's test you. And you get the swab, you test her. It immediately it does it, and it tells you, oh, yeah, you should probably stay home, or maybe you should go in a part of the house by yourself. That way you don't get the rest of the house. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a...
Yeah, the problem with the whole testing thing is that it's so inaccurate that it's
correct.
all based on. I remember like when Crystal thought Max had the flu at the beginning of the Christmas break.
Yeah,
and then she took him to the doctor. They got tested, and then it came back negative, no flu. And then, but his fever kept on going. Crystal's like, I think that's wrong. So then the next day she went and got like
She's the doctor.
at-home test, and then it tested positive for the flu.
Mamas know.
So, but then it was like, all right,
Mamas always know.
If you went off the first test, then it's just like if you feel like garbage, you have a fever, don't go around people. And I think it's just a fever. Yeah. Like if you have a fever, don't go around. And no fever, it seems to be like, fine. But
there is a feeling.
Seeing what the sickness is.
I'm going to share something with you I haven't shared with anybody. The euphoria you get when you have a fever, like that floating, and then you're on cough medicine?
Yeah.
You know that feeling I'm talking about where you're like kind of hot. The medicine is keeping your fever like in the mid-range. I'm sorry, you're riding a 99, right?
Yeah.
And there's like a bit of a euphoria you get. It's almost like a body high. That's when I like to be around people.
Yeah, because you're.
I feel good. I feel like a little party. Like I feel like kind of loose, right? I'm feeling kind of fun. I'm feeling kind of loosey-goosey, you know, like a little weak. I like that feeling of feeling weak. Like when you don't consume enough calories and you're kind of like, ugh, I like that feeling. It's like,
Why do you like that?
It's like nature's drugs. I like the feeling of almost passing out. I always have.
Yeah.
Mark Barry used to make fun of me. I was like, oh, I like that feeling. Like I'd work out to a point where I was going to like literally collapse and break my nose on the ground, and he's like, "Why do you like that?" Like, I'm an addict.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I like
Anything
it.
but normal.
Yeah. Exactly. Anything but what I'm living right now is the better thing.
So I was watching football over the whole weekend, like I'm sure a lot of other people were. Wildcard weekend.
Yeah, man. Wildcard weekend.
And all the games were pretty one-sided, except for that Bucks-Washington game, which I'll talk about in a second.
It was a good game.
So on Sunday, I wanted to watch the Bills-Denver game because I had a lot of money on a Ravens-Bills teaser, and I'm trying to win my money back from the Steelers bet.
Chasing the dreams.
Yeah. I'm chasing now.
Yeah, I like that you are.
Against everything that I've learned and the discipline.
Sometimes you got to go against what you believe in. It's like a movie title. Sometimes you got to go against what you believe in to get S done.
And I just can't, live with such a losing season because I made such
also,
a horrible
you need the money now, right? Because it was a lot. What are you out? $10,000 now?
No, it's not. You
$9,000 or $10,000.
No, it was in the hundreds. I'm just trying to win a little bit back. Anyway, so
do the boys participate in
okay.
any? Oh yeah, all right.
So for whatever reason,
how did I know?
Crystal has this new thing where we spend 1 hour at dinner every night.
God damn, that's a long dinner. 1 hour? I don't have time for a 1 hour dinner.
Oh, well, first.
Dinner in the Dennis household is all in different rooms, 20 minutes.
She wants to all sit at the table. She calls it some sort of
day?
It's
gratitude, blessings.
Yeah. She gets into these things she sees on Instagram reels where like how to be a better family.
Before we eat, everybody take out your small gratitude journal, and then we're all going to write one phrase about the person to our left that you like, and then just pass the journal over and let them read the passage.
So we're sitting at dinner on Saturday.
How do you not freak out
when
this is happening? How do you hold your tongue? You need to teach me your ways.
Well, I'm fine.
How do you not make fun of this?
Well, first, the kids eat so slowly. My sons have always taken an insane amount of time to eat. And so
they're savoring boys. They like to savor their treats.
Just,
I ate ice cream with them one time at the River Ranch. It was 3.5 hours of ice cream cone.
Well, they don't like anything healthy. And Crystal, she's like, I'm cooking. Like I saw on Instagram reels that you're supposed to cook healthy meals, even if the kids don't like it.
Yeah.
Because all they want is the
Gummy
same.
bears, yeah.
Well, no, like mac and cheese, a hot dog.
Have you tasted mac and cheese, man?
No, yeah.
It's good.
Crystal, the moms, they're worried about like getting them. She's constantly beating herself up because she's like, I don't think they eat good enough food.
Plenty of time for them.
They're eating garbage all the time. That's all they like is garbage.
Yeah.
And
we struggle with that too.
She beats herself up, and then she feeds, and then she cooks these vegetables and like whatever healthy meals, and the kids just pick at it or whatever.
Well, they're bad. I mean, Andrea made some. God, what did she make the other night? Some damn lemon couscous with some broccoli in it or something. I'm like, this is straight. It's like lemon couscous broccoli. What is that, dude? I don't want citrus broccoli.
But I'm sure Maisie, she's just trying to get all the calories because she's an athlete.
Well, she'll eat the proteins, right?
Yeah.
She'll eat the proteins, and then if she, she'll just pick around it.
Anyway, back to the gambling.
Yeah.
So we were at dinner, and then because Crystal's like, we do an hour from 6 to 7, and even if we don't eat, we'll spend the time talking. And this is what I learned.
Play cards like French people.
Have
a cigarette. We'll
like
play cards. We'll have a cigarette.
So we're talking.
Have an after-dinner cordial.
and we quickly run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, because an hour is too long. 20 minutes in and out. Do it digital. Do it FaceTime.
And then Crystal brought up the football, and then I'm like, oh, I jump in. And I was like, I know about that. And then Crystal's like, well, explaining the playoffs to the boys.
Yeah, sports dinner.
And
this is great.
So then we busted out a piece of paper, and then I'm giving Crystal I'm explaining brackets and stuff to them, like, and how
Here's
the playoffs.
The email forward that one of the Grudens sent to get fired.
And then Tommy's like, oh, I explained to him, like, the Ravens won today, and Houston won. And then tomorrow the Bills and Denver play the 1 o'clock game. And Tommy's like, oh, I like Denver. He likes, Miami Dolphins, but he also likes Denver.
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, because he likes Colorado. And he's like, I'm like, oh, well, they're plus 9.5, and I'm explaining spreads, and I've talked to them about this before, but I was like,
Well, I knew they wouldn't be like completely in the dark. You can't spend that much time with your dad in a hot tub and not pick up a couple of gambling tips. I mean, they've been in the hot tub with you yelling about gambling, honestly, more than anything they've ever done in their life, right?
Yes, and I know why people
Tommy might be your ace, dude.
Get mad at me because I'm explaining to this, and then it seems like they're hearing it for the first time, and I'm like, I've told you this more than 24 times. I've explained
I'd
the
go
spread.
more. I'd go higher than that.
Well, why have you not? That tells me you weren't listening to anything, and you probably don't listen to anything I say. Anyway, so Tommy's like, oh, okay, like, I like Denver plus 9.5. That's what that's who I would bet on. And then I'm like, well, I could put in a $10 bet for you. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then Crystal's like, don't start this, whatever. And then,
I mean, look, we were in silence. Now we're having a conversation. What do you want here, man? I'm trying to invest in his future.
And so he's like, oh, okay. And then,
and if he loses the 10, he's going to learn a lesson.
And then he's like, oh, so I bet, $10 I win 10. I'm like, no, you win 9. This is the vigorish. And I started explaining how the vig works.
Yeah.
And
it is a little confusing. Look, I'm 48 and it's confusing to me. It's like, it sounds crazy, the little words and
you should win $9 and like 80 cents or whatever. Anyway, but I was trying to make it simple. It was like you bet 10, you win 9, whatever.
Well, just out of curiosity, what are Mac's thoughts at this time? Is he in, or is he more picking up on the vibes that Mama's laying down and more maybe shuffling to that side?
He doesn't care as much.
Is it a house divided a little bit? Like, is he more like, yeah, why are you doing that?
No, he'll watch football and be into it, but just Tommy.
More like me, for the stories, the emotional stories, the winning, like the loyalty to your team, go Falcons, that kind of a thing.
Max is more emotional, so he gravitates towards his mom because she's emotional.
Sure.
Tommy's unemotional, gravitates towards me. And that's kind of just,
it's kind of cool. You each get one.
But it's not really even like that. It's just the personality types is themed. Anyway.
So he's kind of into it, huh?
So not really. I mean, so we talked about that, and then all of a sudden Sunday comes, and I'm watching the Bills game on the patio, and then Tommy comes out at the beginning, and he's like, "Oh, it's on." Yeah, I'm like, "Well, yeah, let's watch it."
It's going to make you feel good that he remembered and he was like, okay, it's happening.
So I was excited that Tommy's watching this game and he's got a bet on it now.
Yeah.
I've waited a long time for this.
Right.
I've waited a long time for my sons to be interested in not only football but gambling. Even though they'll watch football games with me, but they don't really care about the result as much. Sometimes the Dolphins are playing and they know that it's like
they might do they don't care about the Dolphins. Like, see, I have full on indoctrinated Maisie into wearing red and black. Even yesterday, Falcons weren't even playing. She's red and black. We're we're a Falcons family.
I got them. Like Tommy's got a Miami Dolphins hoodie now.
Nice.
Max has got a T-shirt.
You have to
we
do
wear
that.
it together.
You have to do that.
So I'm indoctrinating them into the sports team, which is a fun thing to do actually, because you're like, they like it only because of me and the indoctrination.
I control this.
Yeah, they like and this will stick forever. Like if you do it hard enough,
Yeah.
like they'll never change.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Like it is like you're putting Jesus in them,
Yeah.
or whatever football team you want.
Yeah. Except it's
like,
Bijan.
yeah.
100%.
And so that's a fun thing to experiment with humans and their psychology.
And even if they don't know what's happening, like you score
yeah.
a touchdown and you're like, yeah, and then they go, yeah, they don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, indoctrinating kids is fun.
It is
fun.
They
Because
can get out of control. I can, like in cults and stuff like that, I get it, but just a little lighthearted, influence, I think is good.
you start thinking you could go real far with it. Like you can, I mean,
Oh, you could ruin their lives.
yeah. That's power.
Well, there's nothing I've ever wanted to do more than stunt my own daughter's success. Through a series of jigsaw-esque pranks and long cons.
Indoctrinations,
Indoctrination.
I mean-
long cons jokes. Some of them even just like silly little pranks that she'll find out later. Jokes on you.
Because if you do it young enough, I mean, it'll be so ingrained into them that it'll take years of psychology.
And let me ask you this: is it really
Or
damage?
therapy.
Is it really damage if you're dead? I'm talking about me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about me.
Anyway, so we're
Got dark.
the Bills-Broncos game starts, and I'm trying to.
What's up with the Bills trying to kill all of their players? Like they're always got somebody dead on the field. The Bills always have
It's
a
a rough
player.
sport.
Yeah, but the Bills specifically always somebody dead on. Every time I'd get up to go to the bathroom, active bladder, I'd come back and there'd be a new Buffalo Bill dead on the field.
I know. Every time I see Hamlin still playing, I'm like, God. It reminds
Good
me
as
of
hell.
how wrong
He's
I
so
am.
good, so good, better than he's ever played.
And-
some are saying that even the accident is what really kicked his game into the next stratosphere.
If your heart stops for like 38
makes you a
seconds,
better player.
you're better. So I don't want to tell Tommy that I have this huge amount of money on the bill. Like they need to win by
Why not?
by more than 3.
Why do you want to bring him along?
Because I want to be on the same side. He's rooting for Denver, so I want to root on the same. I don't want to root against them, especially the first time betting.
A little lighthearted, Okay, I see what you're saying.
I want me and him to bond over this.
I got you.
So I don't tell him about my Bills bet. I'm
it's like
oh.
Maisie liking seafood. The fact that it happened is like such a win for me. Like there's nothing that makes me happier.
Even if there was some piece of seafood you didn't like, you would eat it just
100%.
if she liked it.
I do that now.
Yeah. You wouldn't be like, oh.
We go to some Vietnamese restaurant, and then Andrea will get some squid pie or something, and I'll just choke it down because I want her to be strong.
Yeah. So, I don't tell him, like, I'm like, let's root for Denver or whatever.
I love that your boy is changing your gambling habits.
So Denver scores.
I was watching. And it was impressive. It was impressive.
And I was like, God damn.
It was impressive.
In my head, I was like, oh, no. Because all I could think about is like, oh, my God, this is going to be a huge upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose again.
They were even pull out the little trick plays. That one really didn't amount to anything, but they were pulling out the little trick plays. I'm like, oh, they got a shot here.
Yeah, fake punt.
Yeah.
And then they're like, Sean Payton's at it again. And I remember us watching that Super Bowl, Jimmy's house, where he made us stand up for the national anthem on TV. And I remember when Sean Payton did that onside kick in the Super Bowl. And it was completely out of nowhere coming back from halftime, and they recovered it, and that was the reason they won. And then I was like, oh no, it's happening. So inside, I'm like, this, I can't believe this.
Yeah,
the first game my son's bet on.
Bo Nix is juggling apples. Did you see that? Like before the game, he's juggling apples and laughing.
So then, of course, Denver scores, and they start coming back, and then
it got out of hand.
And then now inside, I'm relieved. I'm like, oh, thank God! Like, I can't win. If I lose this, I'm going to be financially ruined.
But your heart broke a little bit.
But then I'm watching my son slowly lose his bet. Right?
Did he get like how? If you
and then I saw him like start rationalizing stuff like I've done.
What was he saying? What was he saying?
Well, when Buffalo was up like 21-7, Tommy starts saying, well, if they score again, I'll still win my plus 9.5. Like, all they need to do is stop. Like
that sounds like his dad.
Yeah.
That sounds like, hold on a second. That just rattled you rattled my bones a little bit. I got a little goosebumpy.
And then I'm like, oh my God, he's doing what I do when I lose these bets, where I start playing out scenarios like, okay, well, I start you know, if they just score one more touchdown, around and get 2 more stops.
Let me jump in my future predictor here.
And then I'm watching him watch the game being tortured. Bo Nix can't do anything. Josh Allen takes it over, just playing ridiculous.
The very first run he had that was kind of the momentum turn.
Oh yeah,
and he's just running like a robot man down the field, and nobody can do anything to him, and he's just having his way.
And then I of course after it gets to in the 30s, and
was he still watching though? See, like this is he still with you, kind of taking it in, or is he losing interest, or what's he saying to you?
It's funny because he's naive to football, so he still was holding out hope in the greatest.
I still hold out hope.
Just like every degenerate gambler, you start playing out absurd scenarios. Well, you may still win.
Because that's the best part. Imagine if you were a Patriots fan and you got to be on the opposite side of when they put the flip on my Falcons in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Imagine how that felt, because I know what it felt like on the opposite end. So put Tommy.
I had money on the Patriots in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But it felt insanely good.
It's got to. It's got to feel crazy good.
Because you go from 0 and then you come back and you win your bet. I mean,
like being at that Magic game when Cole Anthony.
99% chance you lose and you come back out.
Yeah, December 21st. I'm there. Cole Anthony puts on a show against the Miami Heat. We're down 40. We come all the way back and win it. I'm squeezing Maisie and crushing her bones. It's a great thing.
Anyway, so I'm watching him start playing out scenarios, and then there's like 2 minutes left. I'm like, son, you lost your bet.
So here, have a White Claw.
So then he went and got his wallet. And then he's like, all right, he's like $10, and then he started looking through his Christmas money, and he's looking through it, and then he pulls out two fives.
Hey, rules are rules.
And then he pays me.
Yeah.
And then
you got to take it. It'll mean more.
I did. I know. I took it. I was like, all right. And then but I knew it was a valuable lesson, but it crushed me inside. And then that $10 in my wallet is weighing on me. I drove to work thinking about that $10.
Yeah.
I'm like, you piece of ass. Even though it's not, and he wasn't crying about it. He was just like, here's $10.
He's not a punk. He's not gonna freak out over it.
But I was like, what are you doing?
No, you got to take it.
And then I'm like, you shouldn't even teach him this. Like, don't get him into this horrible world of this. Like, what? I'm like, I'm not. And then the rest of the day, I'm losing.
Nobody knows it.
Tampa loses, and I'm like, oh.
Did you have money on Tampa?
Because I won some money back, and then I'm like, I will never lose again. I'm a genius. And then I take Tampa -3. I'm like, no, they'll cover this. Anyway, so
you got to do it.
I felt I felt happy that we had that experience together, then horrible, and still feel horrible. So what am I doing?
And also a little conflicted, right?
Yeah.
It's like I had the best time.
My son paid me $10.
Yeah, it's like if I had a great time selling marijuana with Maisie yesterday. Like we were driving around town, like selling little bags of weed or something. Conflicting message, right?
It's legal.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying.
God.
And that's funny.
But I also I'm glad that he lost his first official bet, because because if you win your first one, that's about then that could be stuck with you forever, and you're chasing that.
It's kind of like when EJ did his first open mic, and it went pretty well.
Yeah. Wasted a tremendous amount of his life.
Sometimes the first dice roll
could have ruined his life.
Sometimes the first dice roll is the anomaly.
Yeah. When
lightning sometimes strikes the very first second.
My huge gambling wins, like with Brett Bushy back in the day, set me on a path.
That's how you bought your house.
Lifetime
That's how you bought your house.
Well, no, that was getting married, though. That wasn't betting on games. The betting.
Yeah, but it all runs in that. I mean, if you hadn't been betting on games, then you probably wouldn't have been running in that world.
Yeah. But the fact that I won at the beginning has been very bad for me.
Okay.
Like it didn't. Like you should lose at the beginning and then just be disheartened by it and then never play again. Anyway.
Yeah.
I have a theory, and tell me if you think this is right. So, remember when Mike McDaniel became head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and I made the joke of he's too skinny, nerd, and he's not.
He looks like that wide neck guy that's on that dating show. Do you know what I'm talking about? Mike McDaniel current coach of the Cowboys, right?
No.
That's
Dolphins.
That's Mike
McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. I get
Yeah.
I get the Mike mixed
Then there's
up.
McDonald
Yes.
that is the coach of the Seahawks now.
Yeah.
There's too many
Mike
whatever.
mix. Too many Mike mix. There's too many of them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Nerd.
Yeah. Nerd with glasses, and the whole joke is he turned into a South Beach drug dealer now.
Yeah, he's got the
because,
greasy hair and gold rims on
Yeah,
glasses.
yeah,
He looks
yeah.
ridiculous.
And he wears capri pants.
Yeah, he looks stupid.
So there's a lot of rumors that the players don't respect him. And that players are showing up late, and he's having to find them, and the NFL is finding some players.
Oh, that's
and
one
then,
of my greatest fears. People don't respect me.
And-
Then I got a clear house.
And so when he first got hired, I made this joke that he doesn't look like the stereotypical coach, and you need that gruff old man that we're used to as NFL coaches.
But we're starting to get the younger guys.
Yes, and then a lot of people push back, and they're like, "No, Tom, you're an idiot." And the NFL is going younger coaches. Look at all these younger coaches.
Well,
McVay.
Raheem Morris looks like Blade. He looks like literally looks like
yeah.
what's his name? Wesley Snipes.
And
Like a good-looking black guy.
And then, of course, you've got Minnesota's coach. He's young, and Green Bay's coach. He's young too. Whatever. And so
He's the Green Bay's coach is the fastest. He's the number 6 on the most wins in the first 5 years of your career or something.
yeah,
He's a stud. That guy's kicking ass.
Now, Green Bay is kind of weird because their whole franchise is run. It's a public.
Yeah, it's owned
So-
by the season
The
ticket
people,
holders.
yeah. So it's kind of run more like a corporation. So it's like that is a little bit different. Anyway,
Well, people in Green Bay throw that in our face a lot, and you know what? I'm too stupid to understand how much value that has. So I don't care when you tell me that. Like, I own part of the team. I don't care.
also Green Bay stinks.
Yeah.
It's cold as hell, and there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
So take that.
Jordan Love got that. He got that funny bone.
Yeah.
He got that funny bone. That's the
Didn't
worst
do
thing
well.
you can hear. Is like I turn on the TV, they're like, and Jordan Love cannot feel his hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's not good.
Now, even though the Eagles won, this kind of goes into Nick Sirianni, who's the Eagles coach, and he's gotten a lot of flack too. He's kind of younger, and it doesn't look like the stereotypical old gruff
Yeah, he's like
coach.
a bald. He looks like Seth Petrozelli a little bit.
And during that game, all of a sudden they focus on A.J. Brown. He's on the sidelines, and he's holding an inspirational book, right?
Yeah, he was trolling, right?
So I don't know, but
I didn't think that was real. I'd slap that out of your hand. We're playing football.
yeah. So and they were,
I
joking
would
around
kick
about
it.
him.
I would walk up to him while he's sitting on the bench. I would kick it out of his hands.
So I don't know what happened, and they never showed him reading it, right? But he had it, and it looked like he may have been like opening up and reading it, maybe started during downtime or whatever. But I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
Have you ever seen
No.
any football player on the sidelines reading a book or doing anything that is non-football related?
Not to sound like you, but it made me mad.
Yeah.
I'm like, get that out of here. It's like when Will Ferrell at the hockey game pretended to be Buddy the Elf again, and he was smoking cigarettes and drinking beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, get the hell out of here. Knock that ass off. I don't want that.
Yeah.
We're playing sports here. I don't want that.
So my prediction.
Stop trolling, and he should be fined. He should be fined for doing it. Don't troll.
Well, that's a coach thing, and then that told
I'd
me.
shut that down fast. I'd rip his book in half right in front of him.
Well, I don't think they respect Nick Sirianni either, and I don't know. And it told me that if in this games tonight, so
You need to be focusing on the game we're playing, not reading a book.
if Minnesota wins tonight and they play the Eagles,
They probably are going to win tonight, right?
I'm gonna bet on Minnesota against the Eagles because
Not focused.
of that book.
Yeah.
Because when I
You know
saw
what?
that, I
makes
was
a
like,
lot of sense to me.
I was like, that is a tell. And
Tell that to Tommy. That actually makes sense to me.
And then he bets on him, he loses. Your stupid theories, Dad. Stop it.
Well, but okay, well, follow me here. And this is not something the chat room has said. This is something coming from me.
Yeah.
This might be your way out. You're
What?
too far in. Maybe your son will help pull you back out a little bit.
No,
you know?
he doesn't know nothing.
Maybe he
man.
can give you a different perspective on. Maybe you can go a little more casual, right? Right? Because you're using him. You're using it as more of a fun thing. You know, normally you told me just last week, you said that you've gotten to a point where it has sucked all the fun out of it.
Yeah,
Well, you can get the fun back with it. by, doing some fun stuff with your boy. Do some prop bets. Just keep it casual.
Yeah.
Let him guide the way,
But
even
then-
if he's making mistakes.
But it's not fun if you're losing all the time and you're going to lose because that's how gambling works.
But you'll win
unless you
some.
know.
You'll win a few, I guess.
Yeah, but over time, and then the lesson he's going to learn is don't gamble because eventually you lose.
What'd you think of old, what's his name, going to the Patriots? For whatever reason, I think
Vrabel?
I always think he looks like Alec Baldwin for some reason with his little flat top and
Well, they put him in the Patriots Ring of Honor, and he's an old school Patriot.
old school player. Yeah.
So, and you see what the coach of Detroit has done, and again, it goes back to respect and the players respecting you and stuff. And I think there is something okay. And then you go back to like, okay, well, they respect McVay. He's young, but he's muscular. I have this whole thing.
Now, this is what you wanted to say. Let's just say it. Say what you say. Say what you want to say.
No, but if you're a young coach, I think you have to be somehow fit for the players to respect you.
So you can't be like a young fat slob
or a skinny guy. Because
well, you
maybe
you could be a bigger, doughy, or defensive guy that played, and it'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, Vrabel's a giant.
So anybody that played is fine.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Former football player.
Yeah, you're
but
good.
If you're not a former football player and you're not a workout dude, you may have some problems.
tough time. You're gonna get bullied.
Yeah.
So
Or they just don't respect you.
Your
Sirianni.
theory about Mike McDaniel really has very little to do with football and has very much to do with the fact that he's a nerd and he tried to look cool and it's too try hard and all those guys in Miami are like, F this try hard.
Like I saw during the Denver game, Sean Payton, right, who's supposed to be a real a-hole coach, right? As far as like the players are afraid of him.
Which guy are you talking about now?
Sean Payton from the
absolutely.
Denver Broncos,
Yes, I've heard
formerly of New Orleans. And when that play, I think it was their running back, their Denver's running back. They were on 4th and 5 or whatever, and he got pushed out of bounds with like half a yard to go, and it didn't look like he tried his all just to make it the first down, and that was the end of the game, right? Yeah. And the coach was like, Sean Payton was mad, and then the running back was behind him with like, defeated, like, oh, I'm sorry, like he was saying, like, it looked like he was the kid and the coach was the dad, and the dad was disappointed in him, and then the running back like had the body language, like, oh, I'm so sorry, like, like, and I'm like, I don't think that happens to the young nerdy coach. It happens to the old gruff old man coach, because he is a father figure. Yeah. And it seems like the same thing with like Tomlin or whatever. They like the coaches or the players respond more to that gruff father figure type. Yeah. When it comes to the head coach.
You're touching on something that drives me crazy in sports. One of the reasons why I don't think that my team, the Atlanta Falcons, are doing well is exactly what you're saying. I don't think we have a coach with any consequences at all. I think our players just go out there and fill their position and just do their job. He's there and he's doing his thing, but how much influence does he actually have? I want like an Andy Reid. I want somebody that like they value his opinion, so they want to do well for him.
Yeah, like a father figure.
Right, and then if they do poorly, right, his disappointment actually means something. There is value to it. For like, I don't think we have that in Atlanta. That's why, I don't think there's any like. So what sucks is I kind of feel like it's going to be up to our players to win more games. I don't even look at our coach and be like, well, Raheem Morris is going to do anything for our franchise.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Like I don't. In fact, if anything, I look like he can't manage a clock. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So yes, I think maybe because you and I've been on this quest at least end of last year to end of this year, or what do coaches really do? And we can't put our finger on it.
Especially,
I can tell you what they don't do.
Non-play calling coaches. I'm not talking about play calling coaches, like the coaches that that have nothing to do with the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And that is like, what is it that sets some apart and others, do poorly, some do well? It's like, what do they have? And it's hard to quantify.
It's almost like that same spark quality, whatever we're trying to delineate that Brady has when he's on the field, or that certain players like Saquon Barkley has, like versus any other running back. What is he?
His skills have to be damn near the same as others. And it's just like there's something else that we can't
Yeah,
quantify.
and it's almost like I wonder if that is that weirdness that's where it becomes a little less scientific and it becomes more of like this weird unexplainable essence or a personality or spark. And Cole Anthony for the Orlando Magic, same thing.
Yeah.
Gets off the bench, goes in, the whole damn team changes.
I will say, and this is probably obvious to most people, but I see now that bad organizations continue to be bad, and it seems like they constantly shoot themselves in the foot.
You're talking about our show, right?
No.
Sorry, TNT Media.
And I noticed this watching the Bucks Commanders game, which sorry for all the Bucks fans. I knew a lot of people were out of that game.
The NFC
although
South
the
is,
best game of the weekend by far.
It was a great game. And Baker Mayfield he's legit. He's the guy.
He is. Although, and I felt bad for him because they had that fumble after they made an unbelievable stop on
he's
4th
like, that's
and
on
1.
me. That's on me.
Yeah, he was handing the ball off, and it was a mishandle of the handoff.
They said he may not have. They said maybe he was thinking about running it, and he just got. Absent-minded or something.
They're trying to run a kind of a sweep play, and then the handoff got botched, and he fumbled it and gave it back to the Commanders, and that put him up.
Anytime you say Commanders, I think about what is it, Iliad or like no matter what, I think of Handmaids.
And here's why I don't feel bad for Bucks fans, because you went from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield now, who looks great.
He looks awesome.
And I would say is your guy until he can't play anymore, because why would you move on from him?
What a great place to land.
He's brought you to the playoffs twice already.
But ask your number one question, why Tampa? Why does it work there?
Okay, so you start looking back, and the same thing happened with Sam Darnold. You go from horrible organizations. Okay, Baker goes from Cleveland, right?
Yep.
Cleveland drafts him first overall. And he goes through 4 different coaches. Freddie
I didn't even think about
Kitchens.
that. Last night was Heisman on Heisman. I didn't even think about that.
And first overall, and he goes, and then he has injury, shoulder surgery. Then they get off him for Deshaun Watson, the worst decision that I've ever seen.
Might be the worst in football.
He goes to Carolina.
Yeah.
Also a bad organization, run poorly, right? He goes to Carolina, can't make it work there, right? So it looks like his career's over after Carolina. Goes to the Rams
and slip
plays
him into the season.
Yeah, plays 2 games and looks unbelievable for the Rams.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that's a good organization, right? And then that's what springboarded him to Tampa, where Tampa, they needed a quarterback. Brady's gone.
Yeah, so he's behind Brady. He's learning from him.
No, he's not even behind. Brady retires, and then Baker Mayfield just goes in.
I thought they brought him in during the same time Brady was there.
No, gone.
Who was the backup for Brady then?
Some old UF quarterback, or a young UF quarterback, some nobody.
Gotcha.
He had nobody because they spent so much money on Brady that they couldn't have anyone. Anyway, so Browns, Carolina, right?
L.A.
Sam Darnold, right? He goes from the Jets, horrible organization, to Carolina again, horrible organization, then leaves them, goes to the 49ers, and then plays backup an entire year. But everybody's like, oh, if Darnold comes in, he'll play well here in this system.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what do you mean? I just watched him play with the Jets in Carolina. It's horrible. They're seeing ghosts. Like, they made fun of him. And then, like, people were – I didn't understand. That's the thing. Like, it's too complicated for me to understand. But all of a sudden, they're like, oh – and then he goes to the Vikings.
Minnesota, yeah.
And I bet Vikings under. I was like, oh, Sam Darnold, this guy stunk all his whole career.
Killing it.
And then kills it in a good organization.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just about, like, a lot of it is the organization. And there's some organizations that are, I guess, until they change owners, they're just going to continually be bad, because the Jets and the Browns and Carolina just seem like, Carolina
so follow
kind
me
of
here. So, like, because we're up against the break. So then you can apply your same logic to, because this one bothers me. You can take Arthur Smith, head coach of Atlanta Falcons last year, stinking it up, take him, put him on offensive coordinator for Steelers, better organization, looks like a genius. Is that?
It seems like but I don't know what that means, though. What kind of?
I think it means every part is just infinite, like, are a little bit, like, everything is in line. There's no disorganization, right?
And maybe the ownership just makes the right hires or whatever. Anyway, it seems obvious at this point. It's like when quarterbacks all of a sudden play horribly and then now they look great in different organizations, and then you see these organizations continually just do bad over and over and make horrible decisions.
Like Cleveland.
Mostly. Cleveland, Jets.
Jets
Aaron Rodgers,
Jets are going to be fine. They're getting Rex Ryan. He's confident.
That's a horrible idea, I believe, right? Like that.
I want it to happen.
Like, I feel bad for Jets fans. Like, you're getting Rex Ryan back. The guy hasn't coached in 10 years, right?
Oh, he did it. He doubled down. They said after, what did they say? After they announced the coaching for Patriots, Rex came out and said, well, I'm hoping I'm going to kick his ass 2 times a year.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's doubling down. He's doing it.
Anyway, sorry to talk football this whole segment.
I mean, we already give a little bit of football. I mean, it is playoff football. Everybody's watching it. I mean, I had it on in my entire house. We were watching it all day. I mean, like, it's about to end. So
I know.
It's coming to an end, y'all.
And then during the BDM show today, I'll tell you a story about going to Florida Mall for the first time in 15 years. And the stores I saw someone we know there. And it's completely changed.
Was it Walter the Outlaw Clogger?
No.
Okay. Guys, we will take a quick break. We'll be back with more A Corporate Time right after this. Great. Good job, buddy.
Cool.
Sorry about the little beginning, and
No, all
sorry to
good.
you guys for that beginning. I don't know why the computer froze, but it did. But we are back. All right, that is Monday, 3 and 4. And what do you want to do now? You want to do a little segment for Tuesday, you said?
Now that I think about it, let's just do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Because there's not. It's better off to do it the
Fresh.
same day anyway.
Why not?
Because we'll just start early tomorrow. When we get in, we'll just record early. That way, when we leave, we'll have the majority done.
Chat room. Guys, we'll be back on Facebook. Donkey the Drink says, I stopped going to Florida Mall when they got rid of Joey Fatone's Fat One hot dogs. That's really funny. Guys, have a great lunch. We'll see